Hey everybody, it's Glenn here and Ben over there. How's it going, Ben?
Good, mate. Good.
It's our Thursday night video. Usually, this is where we do a spitball, and we're gonna put the spitball to rest for this week and talk some recommendations, which we left out of Monday's episode. So we're gonna catch up with that now. The interesting thing about this, though, is that we didn't actually plan this, and therefore the recommendations are practically just. I've just spent the last 5 minutes looking through my collection at what I could recommend, and so it's very unresearched and it's essentially like Spitball, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, very similar. I mean, I try not to, I mean, look, the spitball can land anywhere, but I try not to fill my collection with stuff I wouldn't recommend to anyone.
It's very true.
Like why would you collect stuff you didn't like? I mean, like, actually, I probably have a lot of stuff that I didn't know I didn't like until I bought it and watched it, and they're like, oh,
Yeah,
and
but
didn't
I'm a
didn't move it on.
I'm a bit of a masochist, so there's stuff in my collection that I know I don't like, and I revisit all the time, trying to force myself to like.
Just trying to see what everyone else talks about. They love this.
Yeah,
Why don't I?
I've said it many times. Neil Jordan's In Dreams. I go back to it nearly every year, and I still don't like it.
In dreams.
The one with Robert Downey Jr. and Annette Bening.
I've
Dan,
never heard of it.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. like he plays a serial killer, but Annette Bening plays like a clairvoyant, and she keeps having visions of apples. So the whole film is just dominated with fantasy sequences with apples. And
Do
then
you remember that? Do you remember that scene in Living in Oblivion where the dwarf comes out with the apple in the dream?
what
And
a
he's
that's a
just
cool. I haven't thought about that movie for a long time.
and he cracks. He's just like, Jesus Christ, I'm a midget, and even I don't dream of midgets.
That was a pretty good impression.
Yeah,
Yeah, not bad.
not bad. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but something's come back to you.
So for those that are upset that we're not doing the spitball, I've landed on Bug. I talked about Bug on the show. It's a one location film directed by William Friedkin, written by Tracy Letts. Tracy Letts, if you don't know him by name, he's the guy in Ford versus Ferrari that plays the head of Ford, that has that sort of meltdown in the car. It's a fantastic scene. He also won an Oscar for screenplay for, was it August Assange County or something like that? The one with Meryl Streep?
And Julia Roberts.
Yes.
He's a playwright. That guy. He does a lot of theatre with his wife, who's much younger than he is.
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite Melbourne International Film Festival was when I went to see the movie Christine at the Comedy Theatre, and I got to sit next to Tracy Letts. He was in the film, and to
The
sit
Christine Chubbuck movie.
yeah, because he played
Right. Wow.
he played the editor or something, her boss.
Right.
And I got to sit next to him, and that was incredible because he was in town because his wife was working on The Leftovers, which season 3 was all shot in Melbourne.
Ah, right. Oh, how awesome is that?
That's very awesome. So when you like someone and you get to sit next to them, that's a whole different thing.
Did you harass him?
I did not. I don't do that.
You
It's
didn't
almost
say.
like
You said nothing.
no. I said nothing, man. I just pussied out. Like he wants to fucking hear me just gush over him. It was the same when
Oh.
I went with Jarrett to watch the Malcolm anniversary screening, and I sat next to Nadia Tass. Like.
Right.
I don't think I paid any attention to the film. It was just peripheral. I'm like, oh my god, I'm sitting next to Nadia Tass. Like she doesn't even know who I am, but I'm the biggest fan in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I've done that with Jarrett where I've said nothing. Like he's gone up to Mick Garris and to Joe Dante, and I've just taken the photo.
You know
But
what?
I haven't said anything to him.
That might be a different story. I think if I was over there and I ran into those two on the street, I think it might be a different story. I think I'd do it too.
Yeah.
But
What can you say? Like, what do you say? I don't like talking to people unless I've got something to talk to them about.
Exactly.
Like, if I'm working with them on something or something's happening and there's that to discuss, but just to go up to Joe Dante, I love gremlins.
Well, look, to this date, I've never done. I've never done it, but you know what? Like, I think like Mick Garris would be aware of who I am, so that would be a bit different. And I would hope that Joe Dante was sort of within the vicinity and would recognize that I'm worth talking.
Would join the conversation.
Yeah. Worth talking to is probably a bit much, but
Yeah.
Anyway, but Bug, William Friedkin film Bug.
I thought you were talking about Ticks.
No,
Okay,
no. Bug is a film that's all set in one apartment about a paranoid.
Joe's apartment.
Close. That's
I
a great
mentioned
film. I should change my recommendation to Joe's Apartment. How good is that?
I've just I've just tried to drop as many bug-related films into the conversation
Creep
as I
Show.
can. Creep Show,
They live. They nest, I should say.
the nesting. I don't even know if that's slugs.
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 Squirm.
Arachnophobia. Squirm.
Yeah, see, we're leaving
Worms. The worm eaters.
we're leaving the bug world and
Yeah.
moving into arachnids and all kinds
We're
of
moving
things.
into other insects, but yeah.
And that's just because we
Hornet.
haven't prepared this segment at all
Yeah.
and don't know much
And
about the films.
I'm not a student of entomology. I don't actually know what the difference is
Well,
between all of those things.
The thing about Bug is that there are no bugs in the film. It's about a guy.
Is it about bugs? Is it like the conversation where it's about a listening bug?
No, it's about a guy that's
Oh.
suffering from all manner of mental illness, and he thinks he's got bugs under his skin for the whole film, and he's like, like this the whole time, and
Right.
but he also thinks there's all kinds of radio waves, so he puts tin foil all up his walls, and the film gets more claustrophobic as it goes on. Ashley Judd's also in it. You can watch it and you know immediately that it's a stage show. Like this is perfect for a stage.
Like a one man kind of, like a 1 or 2 man show.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
it would. You could lose Ashley Judd and just have it as a monologue essentially, but it would probably test the patience.
I wouldn't want to do that.
It'd test the patience of who wants to get rid of Ashley Judd?
Who wants to lose
Michael Shannon. Fuck him off.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've seen too much of Michael Shannon, thanks to was it what was that creature? What was it? What was the Guillermo del Toro movie from a couple of years ago?
Oh,
in the shape of water.
Oh yeah.
And you see him pounding away on his wife, and you're like, oh, I don't need to see that much of your backside, mate. I don't need to.
Speaking of bug movies, though, and Guillermo del Toro, what about Mimic?
Like...
Mimic is a really good bug movie. We should just do a segment on bug movies.
Bug movies, yeah.
Last week we talked about Starship Troopers, and that was a bug movie. We're all about the bugs, mate.
Certainly was. What about Aberration? I don't know if it's actually, that's not a bug. It's like a lizard thing that grows under the skin and evolves. That was pretty good, but it's not a bug. It's not a bug movie. I screwed that up.
You hit the nail on the head when you said Joe's Apartment, dude. That's all I can think about right now. Remember that guy's in the band, and the band's called Shit?
Yeah. Isn't Boss Hogg? Is Boss Hogg in it?
Oh, I don't know.
They're one of the bands. The John Spencer Blues Explosion's wife was the lead singer of Boss Hogg.
Maybe.
Or maybe it's John Spencer Blues Explosion that's in it.
I don't know.
It's been a while. It's one of those MTV.
One of the early MTV movies.
Yeah.
If not the first.
Was The Pest one of those?
No. Varsity Blues was.
Varsity Blues was, and Freaked was, wasn't it?
I don't know. I always thought Joe's Apartment was like their experimental first film.
Right.
Anyway, whatever. What are you
Anyway.
I haven't even really talked about Bug. It's a great movie, but it's going to test the patience of a lot of people. And Jarrett's not even here to throw us on this fucking tangent. Like, this is me by myself doing tangents. Like, what a moment. All right.
Yeah.
Off you go. What have you got?
All right. Well, this week, I finally got around to watching this masterpiece, Welcome to Spring Break, otherwise known, I think, in the US as Nightmare Beach.
Nice, fat, juicy R rating on there, too.
Yes. Although I'd say fairly undeserved.
Oh, really?
It's not didn't have as much nudity as I was hoping for, and the deaths weren't as awesome as I was hoping for. Like,
but
there's a lot of.
It feels cooler to own it when it's got an R rating on it, man.
When it's got an 100%. Like, it's all about these guys. The movie starts with a biker from the biker gang in the film are the Demons, and their logo is from Demons.
Oh,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It's just like a generic font that both films used.
And just yeah. But it's I was like watching it going, oh, it's Demons. The film starts with the head of this biker gang being electrocuted for a murder of a co-ed, the sister of not co-ed, a spring break.
So electrocuted as in executed, electrocuted.
Executed, electrocuted. Right. He's on death row, and he swears that he's going to return and kill all the people responsible for his untimely demise.
Hello, Horace Pinker.
And yeah, that's right. It's definitely shades of that most assuredly. But basically, it's all set in this kind of I think Florida town during spring break. and the girl who is the biker is accused of murdering is Sarah Buxton's sister. And Sarah Buxton is someone who I started paying attention to after I saw this fantastic film, Listen. Funnily enough, I think this is, oh no, it's Network Entertainment who brought this out, not Eagle. I thought it was the Eagle logo on the side, but it's not. But she's this like the psycho lesbian girlfriend of the lead actress, played by who is it? Brooke Langdon from The Replacements, one of my favorite Keanu Reeves movies.
Gene Hackman.
Yes, Gene Hackman. John Favreau. It's a great film. But basically, and then so the whole movie is, so this biker gets executed, and then the whole movie, all these people who are there, for all these teens who are there for spring break, being bumped off by this black leather clad motorcycle riding lunatic who drives possibly it's like Billy Connolly's motorcycle in that series, the trike almost, that he rides around when he does all these travel shows. It's this so big, like such a daggy bike, but he gives people lifts, and when they touch there's like some kind of like seat locking mechanism that they kind of, when they sit into it, and when they touch that, he pushes a button on his control and they get electrocuted. But then even when he's not on the bike, he's still always electrocuting people, and you see their faces melt off and all sorts of kind of.
It's as if Billy Connolly was in Death Proof.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, without the foot fetish stuff. No random licking of women's feet as they stick out car windows.
Do you know what year that one was?
That's a good question. 1988, I believe.
Ooh, so it's around that time of Shocker and the horror show.
Yeah, that's right. And there's John Saxon plays the cop Stryker, the chief of police. So
it's automatically good when he's in it.
And he's like a sleazy cop. Like he doesn't care about the rules. Michael Parks has it's a very against type performance for Michael Parks. He's the town doctor / coroner, and the mayor, who I don't know who plays the mayor, and John Saxon are basically covering up the murders. They're blaming the murders on the biker gang, the local biker gang, the Demons, so as not to alarm the parents of all the spring breakers, because like in Jaws, if all these people leave this town, it'll go bankrupt, so they've got to keep it all hush hush, which is pretty good. But
this is sounding like he's playing the opposite of what he played in Blood Beach, because he plays that Sheriff Brody character in Blood Beach, where he's like,
this one
can't.
He's one of the. I don't want to say he's one of the red herrings as the killer, but he kind of is.
Enough time's gone by, dude.
Yeah, he's basically one of the red herrings, because he's a pretty kind of despicable character. But Michael Parks,
I have to go back and watch it.
Michael Parks, who is the Dr. Coroner, there's like one scene where they kind of out of the blue, when they're convincing him to cover up the murder of one teen, the Stryker, the John Saxon character, is like, you'll do what you're told. He's like, I can't cover up a murder. I could lose my license. And he goes, oh, well, you'll also lose your license if I start telling people about the pills that you give your pretty, pretty boys. And you're like, where did that come? And throughout the whole film, Michael Parks is drinking booze from the biggest hip flask I've ever seen, like way too big to fit into a pocket. It's this massive bottle, and he doesn't even bother to keep it hidden in the morgue. It's just like out there on display, and the minute anyone turns away, he's picking it up and taking a swig.
Awesome.
He's great.
That's a cool recommendation. I don't think I've seen it. I know the film like you're talking about.
It's actually, funnily enough, I thought it was a different film. There's another film, and it could be something like, it could be Night School. I know that there's another film where there's a black-clad biker going around killing people, but the violence I saw somebody filming what they were watching on Instagram, and it was a guy, but it was more like pieces. Like the blood was outrageous, and I think there was a chainsaw and some kind of industrial plant where someone's getting stuck into like a giant blender type thing, and like blood's going everywhere. And I thought it was this film. I was like, oh, it's got to be that, because it had that kind of spring break kind of
Yeah.
vibe about it. And then I watch this, I'm like, it's not that. I mean, it's got a lot to recommend it. There's a lot of girls in bikinis and running around and stuff, and there's a practical joker who keeps faking different way. Like one point he's wearing a shark fin, and then a cop he's wearing a shark fin in the water to scare off all of the surfers, and the cop runs down to the waterfront and just starts blasting away at him with his gun as if that's gonna that's how you that's none of this bigger boat nonsense. Like just send the sheriff out there with a pistol.
Awesome work, man. Cool. That is about
But
it.
that's it. Yeah, that's
two banger recommendations. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome.
And then just watch Listen as well, just to get a bit more of a Sarah Buxton fix.
Pretty bad cover art there.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, look at that. Look at the you see the title treatment there. They put a phone where the eye is and Listen is.
It's pretty clever.
Very clever network. Well done. Well played, sir. Well played.
Well, anyway, that pretty much is it for Thursday night video. Just quickly, go back and listen to this week's episode of Good Movie Monday.
Am I in
because
it?
we had two Well, you're in it, mate.
Then I will.
You can listen to your parts and skip the rest. And two banger interviews. We had Lloyd Kaufman from Troma, and we had David Marmer, who directed a film called 1BR, or Apartment 1BR, as it's released in Australia. So anyway, onwards and upwards, mate. I'll catch you next week.
Yes, indeed.
All right. See ya.
Bye-bye.